One game in the rearview mirror here in Springfield today. We've got this one and 3 more at Blake Arena. An exciting one. Whitney Young travels all the way out from Illinois to take on Mount Vernon, who makes just about a 2-hour ride from New York to get on up here to Springfield. Whitney Young, Mount Vernon coming at you right now at the Hoophall Classic. Alongside ESPN national recruiting analyst Adam Finkelstein, I'm Adam Giardino, and there is one guy to keep an eye on. He's heading to Duke, and that's DJ Steward.
And you know what? Duke has the #2 ranked recruiting class in the country right now. DJ Steward, not necessarily the first guy you look at in that class, but he is someone that I am a huge believer in. He's not just individually talented with good size and length in the backcourt. This guy has got a personality about him and so much gravity. He's charismatic, he plays hard. People are going to love him at Duke, and he's going to be a leader from day one in that program.
A week ago, he had 40 points in a head-to-head matchup going up against Caleb Love, the number 18 prospect, going up against Christian Brothers High School in Missouri. That's the bright highlighter orange of Whitney Young as they win the tip. Drive on the baseline, deflection stays with Whitney Young as they were looking for Stewart immediately in the corner.
I thought you were referencing Tyler Beard's hair with that comment.
Yeah, you're going to be hard-pressed to lose Beard at 0 at the top with those, oh, you wouldn't call them frosted tips, highlighter tips there for Beard. Here's Stewart, immediately gets his man in the air. Jump shot, no.
And I think one thing for fans to keep in mind while they watch this game is when you watch someone like DJ Stewart play with this high school team, what he has to do in order for them to be successful, sometimes very different as you see him get loose in transition than what you're going to see him watching have to do next year at Duke. He's got to take on all of the burden offensively to create offense for himself and others. So going to see him having to do less next year at Duke, but this is going to be a terrific showcase of just what he's capable of as you watch him get loose in the open floor here. How about the unselfishness?
Flips it up top to Tyler Beard.
That's what I told you. Guys love playing with him. Not only does he give it up to his teammate, but he sets him up for a big dunk, and then he's got a big smile going back.
Really an ill-advised pass. Mount Vernon keeps possession. That's not an ill-advised pass. That's Troy Hupstead on the inside. They've won 4 Illinois State High School basketball championships, so pretty good pedigree there for Whitney Young, the Dolphins. This dunk on the inside for Mount Vernon. A drive and another offensive foul.
If he caught that, he should have been playing on a football field today.
On game 1 today, we saw KD take off for Hargrave Military, and
KD Johnson was spectacular for Hargrave Military Academy. How about that first half? First half, he had 23 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, no turnovers, and he was 8 of 11 from the floor. It was as good of a half of basketball as I've seen all weekend long. And talked about that, how he committed to Georgia before having a huge national rep, and I think he's going to be a guy that the rest of the country, certainly the rest of the SEC, says, you know what, we were late to the party on that one.
No doubt about it. Just the elevation that he was able to get on a blocked shot at one point during the game where he was up at the top of the square on the backboard to get up and go get one.
The sheer force that guy plays with is incredible.
Stewart goes up for the dunk and doesn't get it. No foul either.
And you know, Stewart, you start talking about dynamic guards. Brown and Oregon State.
Into the paint, a bounce pass, and a bucket. We've got ourselves a tight game on our hands.
Give Mount Vernon credit.
They've come out and they weren't deterred certainly by that early thunderous alley-oop. 3 from the corner by Stewart. No, slow start for him off the top of the backboard, and they'll say that it hit part of the cable, the wiring up there.
A bit of a token pressure there. Not really looking to force turnovers as much as they are to set their defense.
Slow start for Stewart, just 1 for 5 from the field, a couple of points. That 3-pointer had a pretty clean look from the corner, but didn't get it.
Yeah, I think that was the point I was trying to illustrate early on. I think a lot of the shots he has to take during the high school season are tough shots. And sometimes they require him to be a little bit more aggressive or to try and force things that he wouldn't otherwise do and that he won't do at the next level.
That's not a tough shot. Just get out ahead and lay it in.
That is not a tough shot. Nice move off the dribble to free him up. Tyler Beard, those two are connecting again. Nice little tandem in the backcourt for Whitney Young.
Beard's received offers from Virginia Tech, DePaul, West Virginia, a bunch of big-name schools. He's a senior. He's yet to officially decide where he's headed.
And I tell you what, if for a guy like that, there's still quite a market for available guards, especially heady point guards like that. You see his passing and playmaking ability.
Obviously a guy, just based on the hair, you got to imagine big personality. Guy that'll
got a lot of gravitas to him, maybe. And
bring a little electricity into the locker room and have some fun in the process.
Well, I think certainly off to a good start in terms of maximizing this platform here to continue to take his recruitment to new levels, approaching that late signing period.
Jump shot from the three. No, that was a deep three from Steward.
Yeah, he thought it was in, too. He was already headed to the other direction. It was dead on, just left it a little short.
That one's good.
The shooting machines weren't quite as prevalent then. You used to get a manager and rebounder. He'd get out there and get you your shots, and he was known to be in there just about every night.
There's another alley-oop. The connection from Steward to Beard. He's got 2 buckets, and they've both been highlight reel types.
And they've both been from the alley-oop from DJ Steward. Was quite a bit of fun and a tremendous learning experience. There's such a long line of guys, coaches who've been much more successful in that industry than I have, who started as managers. You see DJ Steward making the 3 off the screen. But it's a great way to learn if you've got a passion for it.
16 points for Whitney Young. That was the first bucket outside of the paint. Mount Vernon trapped in a tough spot. Hupstead, jump stop, inside, fouled. Free throws coming up.
Who is still very early on in the arc of his evolution. I think he's going to keep getting a lot better as the years go on.
Taylor Beard has put on a clinic, high flying and then sweet stepping through the lane for a bucket. 6 points for him, and they've all been impressive. It's now a 6-point lead for Whitney Young. That's a much needed response by Xavier Briano.
Stop and go.
Good pass on the inside.
Changing pace there. That's such a, we talked about that in the earlier broadcast. When you can change pace and you've got an extra gear about you, the ability to hit the brakes and then punch the gas really keeps defenders on their heels.
Troy Hupstead pulls up the dribble at the elbow. That's pretty good.
I mean, it went in, so that's the good news. It wasn't, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence when it left his hand, but he's developing that part of his game. You talk to coach and learn about these guys. Say he's got the strong body, but he can face up and score the ball with his developing skill set as well.
Back rim 3, Hupstead goes up and grabs a rebound. Mount Vernon attacks the rim and gets 2.
Yeah, these guys are not backing down one bit. They don't care who is on this Whitney Young team or where they're going.
It's Irving Patrick averages 12 points a game for Mount Vernon.
That's big time.
Backdoor cut for Beard.
And then a nice block out from Thomas as well.
Here's Beard. He's having himself a first half.
Yeah, there's new elements to anybody's game, whether it's his or anyone else. But a guy that I'm interested in seeing again, Matt Morrell, last night showed a new element of skill to his game that didn't necessarily see in the spring. Certainly a progression. And that, to me, is the type of thing we're looking for. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he can do it again tonight, if he can do that consistently. Because if he has, then that's a guy who has taken his game to new levels.
And he's a guy that's number 50 in the ESPN 100, committed to Ole Miss. The SEC. Pass ahead to Hupstead, who's been the bright spot from Mount Vernon. It's intercepted before it gets to him.
Good catch.
Steward, fancy steps, and then a block shot erased to the inside. Nice job defensively by DeMarley Taylor. This is Taylor with the basketball.
Got to expand that finishing package a little bit, but that was a heck of a Euro step.
Got himself to where he wanted on the court. Jump shot on the baseline, left short. Taylor can't get the putback. Finally, the third bite at the apple for Mount Vernon's good. 9 points, 6 rebounds, so he's doing it in a game against pretty good competition. Steward for 3.
Good find there. Tyler Beard put it right in Steward's shot pocket. Quick release from the corner.
Now he's into double figures. That's his first points here in the second quarter. 7 first quarter points, now up to 10.
He's not going to go too long without scoring the ball, though. But there he comes again. Let's see what he's got.
On the breakout.
He's going to have terrific positional size when he's at the point. His body's going to change. He's got kind of this quick twitch playmaking ability. He's got a floater package that we haven't seen yet. He can shoot the ball with range. And unlike, you think about the types of bodies that we saw yesterday, especially in games like that IMG game, and those guys are full-grown men. Well, Stewart, he's not totally physically mature yet, but when he becomes that way, he's just going to keep gaining on others in the class.
Beard steps back to make sure he's got a 3, and he rims it out. Stewart had a block at the other end, and now here's Mount Vernon with a nice breakout.
You've got dynamic playmakers. You need to surround them with guys who can shoot the ball, because that's how you get floor spacing and create room for those guys to make their plays.
Great bounce pass on the inside. Turnovers now 11-6.
Double ball screens here for Stewart to work with. Probably a little higher than he would have liked.
Man down on defense for Mount Vernon, and the 3 knockdown for Whitney Young.
But you see what I mean when DJ Stewart finds his teammate there for the 3. Did you notice his face? You see how broad his smile was? So not only does he get you a bucket, but then he's genuinely happy about it. It reminds you of the, and I'm not comparing him to these guys, but it reminds you to the type of energy you see when you watch the Warriors play, when Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were healthy and generally just celebrating the success of their teammates. That's the same type of personality you get from DJ Stewart.
Turnover forced by Stewart. Now a lob at one end, not an alley-oop, but a bucket and the foul. DePaul based in Chicago, Whitney Young based in Chicago, so let's fly out to Springfield to see him.
Well, and I think a lot of, but that's also smart recruiting, and say, hey, we're gonna go follow you and support you, be loyal to our local guys.
Absolutely. It should certainly mean a lot when if you're a player and you look in the crowd and you see who's there, and yeah, the guy that is seeing you on your home court is also seeing you out here.
And it's also recruiting 101. I mean, you talk about, you not only show the prospects that you're there, but then
4-point game has turned quickly into a 9-point game. Young and DJ Steward adds to it.
You know, the thing you notice about Stewart's jump shot, he's almost got a more natural release shooting off the dribble than he does off the catch. Occasionally off the catch, you can get just a little bit of unorthodox rotation on it, but it's a very clean stroke when he shoots off the dribble, especially when he's got his legs under him and he lifts straight up like he did that time.
Upstead with the finish. He's into double figures. Stand corrected. It is Mount Vernon basketball.
Good defense there.
Takeaway and just throw it ahead to Beard, to Stewart, who finishes.
So unselfishness breeds unselfishness. In the first half, it was Stewart who gave it up to Beard. That time, Beard had the breakaway. He gave it up to Stewart and utilized their defensive pressure to give them run-out opportunities.
It would have been the 8th assist for Tyler Beard. Instead, it's a back rim dunk by Grant Newell. Here's Stewart for 3.
And you see, again, you see the smile on his face. I love his ability to shoot off the dribble. He got the switch there yet, but that stuff's going to start to catch up. So he doesn't, physically, he doesn't grab your attention like some of these other guys, but that to me means he's still got so much room to emerge and improve.
This is Tyler Beard bringing the basketball up for Whitney Young. Hard to miss him with the bright highlighter hair. DJ Steward, hard to miss him with that pure release, but doesn't get that 3-pointer.
No, you can see, though, he's got that deep range.
Upstead denied on the inside, sticks with it, saves it.
Great stunt by DJ Steward there. A stunt is when you fake help and stay with your man. It's a defensive principle that becomes hugely important at the next level.
Vernon sticks with the possession, and it winds up with 2 points for Hupstead.
A bigger part of his game than you're seeing so far.
We're seeing the 4 of 9 shooting from beyond the arc. We've seen a couple of dunks in transition. Beard, pretty step back and gets
Tough
the
shot.
bounce.
Yeah, Beard has got that kind of natural fade on his jumper that allows him to get his shot off without much separation, especially in that mid-range area. You look at his size, you wouldn't expect him to play off the mid-post very much, but because of that fade, he can go down in that area and create his own shot.
Now he's grappling low defensively on the blocks with a player much bigger than him. Fends him off and grabs the one-handed rebound.
Yeah, you said it perfectly.
Pass to Steward for 3.
Here's the other thing Beard did there. The look away there to distract the defense and make them forget just for a split second about DJ Steward. That's the kind of subtle play that true point guards can do without most people noticing.
Hopstead, the and one, and flexes.
And I think part of the reason it's been a very well officiated set of games this weekend.
Absolutely. They've let them play. They haven't let fouls make a big part of the storyline. And there's a storyline for DJ Steward continuing to shoot well from the outside.
And listen, he may have 7 or 8 reported offers.
Yeah.
But he could go to school almost anywhere he wants. There aren't many places that wouldn't take him, especially if they're still in the market for a forward or a wing.
Right, if a school program still has a scholarship available.
He's one of the best available guys at those spots. Whether you're looking for a combo forward, a big wing, something along those lines, there's not too many guys available who are any better than he is.
3 knocked down by Irving Patrick as Mount Vernon continuing to stick around, down 14 points and 7 points for Patrick. Turnover. Patrick with the basketball. He loses it. The push ahead,
Great
it's Steward. The finish.
Stewart looked like he was trying to hand that one out off to Robert Posma there, but ended up finishing with the left hand with a terrific long outlet pass. Put that one on the money.
28 for Stewart. Trying to have the high of the day, as mentioned. Johnson for Hargrave at 35.
That was in a 40-minute game, too.
Yeah. Excellent point. 32 minutes worth of basketball here.
Where his future lies, but undeniably one of the top big men in the class coming up next.
13-point lead for Whitney Young as Tyler Beard with the basketball. DJ Steward from deep, that's partially deflected.
And see, that's the ball I'd like to see him drive, because as I've mentioned, for as well as he's playing, he's got a lot more game off the bounce than he's shown here today. And it's great when you're hot with your jumper, you want to keep riding it out, but when guys try and run you off the line, deceptive skill to him. See, that's when I see the little shake and then he leans in. That's the type of game that, again, he hasn't been utilizing a lot tonight, but he's got it in his bag of tricks. Speaking of bag of tricks.
How about shaking there?
Yeah.
17 for Tyler Beard.
And I think, you know, perhaps why we see Stewart playing more off his jumper is because in that tandem with Beard more of a drive first player, so Stewart relying a little more on his jumper just because of the fit.
Back down by Hopstead, and he's got the soft touch as well.
You think about fit. Stewart going to go to Duke. Jeremy Roach, also a member of that class. Jeremy Roach just came back to Paul VI, missed the better part of last year with an ACL injury.
He goes up to challenge Irving. Irving Patrick finishes through it.
All of a sudden, we got a 9-point game.
Under 4 to go. Challenge from behind, and it's Hopstead with the takeaway. He's all alone.
Whitney Young just relaxing here, and it's a 7-point game. They need a timeout.
Final 3 minutes to go. The kick out to Beard for 3. Doesn't touch any iron.
Yeah, that's a big shot. Off his back foot with that little natural fade. Terrific backspin on the ball. Splashed it.
Now he joins Stewart with 20 or more points. It's 20 for Beard, 28 for Stewart. They've got 48 of the 60. Hopstead diagonal out. Patrick. Rebound for Whitney Young. Now they want to get out in transition. Beard. That was springy and explosive right to the rim.
Yeah, what speed there. Not just getting up the floor, but how quickly he got off the floor as well.
Hopstead continues to work on the inside, and in one opportunity. Still single digits. Whitney Young, though, a backcourt slasher to Beard. Absolutely the right word. Whitney Young off the inbound, able to prevent the turnover, albeit momentarily. The turnover anyway, Mount Vernon, ultimately the breakout. Oh, Beard goes up to challenge at the rim, but the finish anyway good for Nazir Davis.
I thought he was going to get it. He rose up.
He was up there.
Good poise here to handle this late clock situation. Tough to pressure a team like Whitney Young with their backcourt.
An 8-point game, and Mount Vernon backs off. Whitney Young will need to take one final shot or just take the shot clock violation with tenths of a second split between them. Mount Vernon players walking off. And there will need to be one more inbound. No, there won't. That'll do it for the action here between Whitney Young and Mount Vernon. 8-point victory for Whitney Young. For Adam Finkelstein, for our stat guy Jared Sharp, I'm Adam Giardino. Signing off from Springfield. Coming up in just a little bit, Hillcrest Prep of Arizona's Sunrise Christian of Kansas.